chimpanzee. Imagine talking to a tiger, chatting to a cheetah. What a great achievement that would be. If I could talk to the animals, learn their languages, maybe take an animal degree. I'd study elephant and eagle, buffalo and beagle, polar bear and guinea pig would be. I could converse in polar bear and python, and I would curse in fluent kangaroo. If people asked me, can you speak rhinoceros? I'd say, of course there is. Can't you? If I conferred with our furry friends, man to animal, think of the amazing repartee. If I could walk with the animals, talk with the animals, grunt and squeak and squawk with the animals, and they could talk to me.
Thank you so much, and thank you for coming out to join us today for Ode to Animals. We're so happy to have you here, Dr. Wickelgren and myself, Mary Gresock. And I especially want to thank the Frederick County Humane Society for coming out. I invited them to come so that they could have an opportunity to share all the wonderful services that they do for the animals in our area. Is our representative in the audience right now? Could you raise your hand if you are?
She's out of the table.
Oh, she's out. So there is a table. Thank you for reminding me. There's a table out where the reception table is. And please stop by that table and find out what they do. You'll be amazed. So without further ado, we are going to start with an ode to that pesky little fly.
I must admit, on gloomy days, I sometimes question nature's ways. For nature went and made the fly, and then forgot to tell us why. The ant has made himself illustrious through constant industry, industrious. So what would you be calm and placid if you were full of formic acid? Some crime or termite knocked on wood and tasted it and found it good, and that is why your cousin Kay fell through the kitchen floor today. I do not like the centipede, a bug we do not really need. At sleepy time, it needs a path straight for the bedroom or the bath. You always wallop where he's not, and if he is, he makes a spot. The frog is slippery, the frog's career is humdy-hickory. He catches flies through hocus pockery, his tights are green, his song is puffery, and little frog goes pickle-tink. The big frog goes ka-chunk. I think you'll recognize these next two American folk songs. However, you might not recognize the arrangement that Aaron Copeland has made of them. It's exquisite. Hush, Lubai, don't you cry. Go to sleep, little baby. gray, and a black, and a pink, and a coach, 6 little horses, a black, and a gray, and a brown, and a gray, and a coach, and 6 little horses. Hush, you cry, don't you cry, oh, you pretty little baby. Go to sleep, little baby. Now, I need some friends for my next selection. They're here. My bar friends, they came to join me. They're going to help me out with this song about a cat. I bought me a cat, my cat pleased me. I fed my cat under yonder tree. Cat says, fiddle-I-dee. I bought me a duck, my duck pleased me. I fed my duck over yonder tree. Duck goes quack, quack. Cat says, fiddle-I-dee. I bought me a goose pleased me. I fed my goose under yonder tree. A goose says, quack, quack. A duck says, quack, quack. My cat says, fiddle-I-dee. I bought me a hen, my hen pleased me. I fed my hen under yonder tree. My hen says, shimmy shack, shimmy shack. My goose says, quack, quack. My duck says, quack, quack. My cat says, fiddle-I-dee. I bought me a pig, my pig pleased me. I fed my pig under yonder tree. My pig says, grabbing, grabbing. My hen says, shimmy shack, shimmy shack. My goose says, quack, quack. My duck says, quack, quack. My cat says, fiddle-I-dee. I bought me a cow, my cow pleased me. I fed my cow under yonder tree. My cow says, baa, baa. My pig says, griggy, griggy. My hen says, shimmy shack, shimmy shack. My goose says, quack, quack. My duck says, quack, quack. My cat says, fiddle-I-dee. I bought me a horse, my horse pleased me. I fed my horse under yonder tree. My horse says, neigh, neigh. My cow says, quack, quack. My pig says, griggy, griggy. My hen says, shimmy shack, shimmy shack. My goose says, quack, quack. My duck says, quack, quack. My cat says, fiddle-I-dee. I bought me a man, my man pleased me. I fed my man under yonder tree. My man says, honey, honey. My horse says, neigh, neigh.
Thank you. Thank you. And we can't forget the sea creatures, especially this one in particular, this little, very ambitious oyster from the sea.
Down by the sea lived a lonesome oyster, every day getting sadder and moister. He found his home life awfully wet, and longed to travel with the upper set. Poor little oyster. Fate was kind to that oyster, we know, when one day the chef from the park casino saw that oyster lying there, and said, I'll put you in my bill of fare. Lucky little oyster. See him on his silver platter, watching the queens of fashion chatter, hearing the wives of millionaires discuss their marriages and their love affairs. Thrilled little oyster. See that bivalve social climber feeding the rich Mrs. Hoggenheim. Think of the joy as he gaily glides down to the middle of her gilded insides. Proud little oyster. After lunch, Mrs. H complains and says to her hostess, I've got such pains. I came to town in my yacht today, but I think I'd better go back to Oyster Bay. Scared little oyster. Off they go through the troubled tide, the yacht rolling madly from side to side. They've tossed about till the poor young oyster finds that it's time he should quit his oyster. Oh, comes the oyster. Back once more where he started from, he murmured, I haven't a single qualm, for I've had a taste of society, and society has had a taste of me. Wise little oyster. Now for this.
The next selection, I'm going to need some help again, but my animal friends aren't here. So I thought I would call on somebody out here. Yeah? So what I need is, I need somebody who can, well, how do I put this? Sound very confused. So they might say something like, what? Or, is there anybody out here who could sound pretty, well, you're very eager. How can you sound confused? Can you say something?
What?
Yeah. What else could you say besides what?
What are we doing?
Yeah, what else could you say besides what are we doing?
I don't know where I am.
That's great. Come on up. What's your name?
David.
David. Come on, let's have a happy clap for David coming up here. Very great. So David, just go ahead and take that one book over there. And I do need somebody else who can, well, plainly, meow like a cat. Can anybody hear meow? Oh my goodness. This side over here is going bonkers here. Can you meow like a cat for us? Go ahead. Oh, louder.
Meow.
Now with some attitude.
Meow.
All right, bring your meow up here. Come on up. Let's give her, what's your name, by the way?
Jennifer.
Jennifer. Yay, Jennifer. Oh, I still need somebody else. Let's see, somebody who can bark like a dog. Oh, I hear somebody whimpering. Ooh. Can you bark now after whimpering? How about, can you do a bark like let's say, a corgi? That's a corgi. Come on up. What's your name? Paul. Come on now, let's hear it for Paul. Wow, that was easier than I thought. Great. So we are going to come up and we are going to sing the counterpoint to the animals. Actually, it's really an old madrigal piece from the 1600s. And I think a lot of high school madrigal groups or concert chamber choirs do this piece. You'll see.
If my dog were free, I never would be seen without a secret on it, with an enormous feather upon it. Shoes of leaf green, hose of tea green, coat of apple green, gloves of bottle green. In fact, I never would be seen except in green, if my dog were green. But alas, no matter what you've heard, the facts are consistently absurd. For my dog isn't green, and what sets the matter even more agog, I haven't any dog. Well, I might not have a dog, but the neighbors have a dog and it never stops barking. as he barks every time they leave the house. They must switch him on their way out. The neighbors call the nose stop barking. And close all the windows in the house. And put on a Beethoven symphony full blast. But I could still hear him muffled under the music. Barking, barking, barking. And now I can see him sitting in the orchestra, his face raised confidently, as if Beethoven had included a part for barking dogs. When the record finally ends, he is still barking. Sitting there in the oboe section, barking. His eyes fixed on the conductor, who is entreating him with his baton. While the other musicians listen in respectful silence to the famous barking dog solo that endless coda that first established Beethoven as an innovative genius. Ruff, 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 ruff. In the beginning was the cat, and the cat was without her. The either stirred, and there was milk, and the cat saw that it was good. It was good. Da 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 da. I had stretched forth across the milk and scratched behind the cat's ear, and it felt good. La da 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 da. Then the firmament shook, and there was produced a paper bag. And the cat went forth she fell asleep.
Thank you. Is it on? No, it's not. I will just talk without. And you can all hear me anyway. So I hope I remember everything that I want to say. But the first thing I want to do is acknowledge all of you for coming during a still uncertain time, and to our first Artist Series concert in over 2 years. So that in and of itself, I think, is... And the people I really want to acknowledge are not here, unfortunately. This Artist Series really can't go without an Artist Series coordinator. And our longtime Artist Series coordinator, Jennifer Runlet, unfortunately for us, suddenly moved to Texas last summer. And so we now have a new artist series coordinator, Jason Diggs, who is on our faculty. He teaches violin and viola. He's a violist. And he very gamely came in and really has done a wonderful job to put this together. And I think there are going to be some remarkable things ahead for you all. So please tell your family and friends about this, and we hope we can keep presenting wonderful music events for the community, such as this. So also, we've had a lot of transition in the music department over the last, I would say, year to year and a half. And I also want to acknowledge our new program manager, Mike Gersten, who is here. And in fact, he's been our stage manager today, for coming in and really taking over the reins in a wonderful way. I think our program will continue to evolve and continue to grow under his leadership. So please. And finally, just a couple words about this next piece. So I was thinking backstage, how can I possibly top what you just witnessed? But I'll do my best. This piece is one that I've heard for a long time, never thought I would actually end up playing it. And those of you who know Aaron Copland's later music, especially Appalachian Spring, Rodeo, Billy the Kid, and whatever else you might know of his, this piece is nothing like those. He wrote it when he was only 20 years old. He was still in New York, where he grew up. He grew up in Brooklyn. And just after he wrote this piece, he was invited to study in Paris with Nadia Boulanger. And while he was there, he got invited to perform his Cat and the Mouse at a salon concert. And unbeknownst to him, the eminent French music publisher Jacques Durand was in the audience, and Durand was Debussy's publisher. Copland knew this. Copland revered Debussy. And Durand came up to Copland afterwards and said, I want to publish your piece. Copland had not been published at all up to this point. Remember, he was still only 21 years old. And without even thinking, he said, oh, I'll sell the rights to this piece for 500 francs. And, that's not the kind of thing composers really do these days. They want royalties. But, he was still getting established, so he did. And so he was published, but this piece is definitely not characteristic of his later work. And it's based on an old French fable called The Old Cat and the Young Mouse, and it doesn't go well for the mouse in the story, so I'll spare you that. But I think at the end, the piece doesn't end the way you might imagine it to be. It's very Tom and Jerry-like. If you've seen Tom and Jerry cartoons, this music really works for that. And so there's a lot of mood changes, a lot of tempo changes. So it doesn't end quite the way you think it does. And in my opinion, I think it doesn't go so well for the cat at the end. But you'll use your imagination. So I hope you enjoy Aaron Copland's The Cat and the Mouse.
When I was a girl, I had a favorite story of the meadowlark who lived where the rivers wind. Her voice could match the angels in its glory, but she was blind. The lark was blind. An old king came and took her to his palace, where the walls were burnished bronze and golden braid, and he fed her fruit and nut from an ivory chalice, and he prayed. Sing for me, my meadowlark, sing for me of the silver morning. Set me free, my meadowlark, and I'll buy you a priceless jewel, and cloth of brocade and crowel, and I'll love you for life if you will sing for me. And one day as the lark sang by the water, the god of the sun heard her in his flight, and her singing moved him so he came and brought her the gift of sight. He gave her sight, and she opened her eyes to the shimmer and the splendor of this beautiful young god, so proud and strong. And he called to the lark in a voice both rough and tender, "Come along, fly with me, my meadowlark, fly with me on the silver morning, past the sea, where the dolphins bark. We will dance on the coral beaches, make a feast of the plums and peaches, and just as far as your vision reaches, fly with me." But the meadowlark said no, for the old king loved her so. She couldn't bear to wound his pride. So the sun god flew away, and when the king came down that day, he found his meadowlark had died. Every time I heard that part, I cried. And now I stand here, starry-eyed and stormy. Oh, just when I thought my heart was finally numb, a beautiful young man appears before me, singing, "Come, oh, won't you come?" And what can I do if finally, for the first time, the one I'm burning for returns the glow? If love has come at last, it's picked the worst time. Still I know I've got to go, fly away. Meadowlark, fly away in the silver morning. If I stay, I'll grow to curse the dark. So it's off when the days won't find me. I know I leave wounds behind me, but I won't let tomorrow find me back this way. Before my past once again can blind me, fly away. you so much for joining us this afternoon. I would like to leave you with one little ode to a very special friend of mine. And then we can all go out to the reception and have some refreshments, and please stop by the Humane Society's table. And I'd also like to mention that I know I've worked really hard for this day, but you know, he was on stage the whole time and playing every single piece, so I want to give you like to thank our brave people who came up here, and that was Jennifer, and she did the duet with me too. Jennifer, Paul, and David. Let's give them a hand. A friendly face, the kind of face that melts you with a grin, the kind of eyes that welcome you the minute you walk in, a tender glance you simply can't refuse. At times like this, a girl could use a dog. Other people need romance, dancing, playing around. Other people need constant fun. Well, I'm not one. I have my feet on the ground. Give me a quiet night, a stack of books, a tournament on ride, a simple walk together underneath a starry sky, and suddenly the sky is something cool, and all about your friend is here with you. At times like this, I'm glad I have my dog.